Now in this part of the question then, we're asked to sketch the curve y equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x. And we can use the first part to help us. Remember, we showed that this factorized to x bracket x minus 3 all squared. So how will this help us sketch the graph? Well, first of all, let's just put some axes down. Alright, make sure you have some arrows on those axes, label them x and y. And what I notice is that we've got a cubic graph. It's a plus cubic graph, and you should know that plus cubic graphs have this kind of shape when they've got x squared terms and x terms in. So I'm looking for a graph having this kind of shape. But we're asked to sketch it on, and like any graph, I'd like to know where it crosses the axis. Well, we can find out where the graph crosses the y-axis by saying when x is 0. So we'd normally do this in our head, but I'll just write it down anyway. When x is 0, you can see that what we have is y is going to equal simply 0. 0 minus 0 plus 0. So y equals 0. So the graph passes through the origin here. Alright, we need to find out where it crosses, if it does, the x-axis. And we can do that when y is 0. Now this is the point where having the factorized version always helps. Because when y is 0, what we've got is x bracket x minus 3 all squared equals 0. And so that's going to mean that either x equals 0 or this factor here, x minus 3 equals 0. So that's going to lead to x is 0 or x is 3. Now this is what we call a repeated factor. And when you have a repeated factor, which leads to x is 3, when it comes to sketching graphs, it means that any curve would touch the x-axis at that particular point. And in this case, it is the point where x is 3. So let's just mark that on there. So we know that the curve has this basic shape, it goes through the origin, and it's got to touch the x-axis at x equals 3. So clearly it's going to look something like this. So we just sketch it up through here, bend it round, make it touch the x-axis, bend it back up again, and up it goes. Something like that. Alright? Okay, so we've shown where it crossed the x-axis as we were asked. This is the origin, might want to put that in as 0, okay? And so there we go. That brings us then to the end of this part of the question.